Hey there, fellow learners. Today we're going to unlock the powers and responsibilities of the President of the Philippines. So, buckle up and get ready for an exploration of the corridors of power. 1. Qualification and term of office. Let's start with the basics. To even consider being the president, you've got to meet some strict qualifications. First off, you have to be a natural-born citizen, a registered voter, and able to read and write. Plus, you need to be at least 40 years old on the day of the election and have been a resident of the Philippines for more than 10 years preceding the election. And speaking of elections, they happen every 6 years, with no chance of immediate re-election if the president has served more than 4 years. However, if they served less than 4 years, they're still eligible for re-election. Talk about a long-term commitment. For example, Arroyo served less than 4 years when Estrada was impeached. Therefore, she was eligible to run on the next presidential election, which she won. 2. Removal and succession. The president can only be removed by impeachment. Remember the case of President Estrada, who was impeached due to allegations of corruption and other high crimes? This led to his replacement by Vice President Arroyo, who assumed office in 2001. 3. Presidential privileges. The perks of being the president. From the official residence in Malacanang to a high salary, the president enjoys some sweet privileges. Plus, there's immunity from suit during their term, though they can't escape legal action once they're out of office. But hey, who wouldn't want a few years of immunity from speeding tickets? 4. Executive powers. The president has the power to enforce and administer laws, appoint key government officials, and even declare martial law in cases of rebellion or invasion. President Duterte exercised this power during the Marawi siege in 2017, where he declared martial law in Mindanao to suppress the uprising. 5. Checks and balances. But hold on, there's more to this story. The president's powers are not unlimited. There's Congress and judiciary to keep them in check, with the authority to approve treaties, pass laws, and even impeach the president if necessary. Just look at the impeachment trial of former President Estrada, which showcased the power of Congress to hold the president accountable for their actions. Let's not forget about some other important powers the president holds. Power of appointment. The president has the authority to nominate and appoint heads of executive departments, ambassadors, officers of the armed forces, and other government officials, subject to the confirmation of the Commission on Appointments. Take, for example, the appointment of Supreme Court justices, which requires confirmation by the Commission on Appointments. Power of removal. The president also holds the power to remove members of the cabinet and other officers whose continuity of office depends on the pleasure of the president. Since the president has the power to appoint, he also has the power to remove. Power of control. The president has control over all executive departments, bureaus, and offices, with the ability to alter or set aside the actions of subordinate officers. This power was exemplified in the reorganization of government agencies by various presidents throughout history. Diplomatic power. No treaty or international agreement shall be valid and effective unless concurred by at least 2/3 of all the members of the Senate. It's like getting the ultimate stamp of approval. Note: the withdrawal of Philippines in ICC requires 2/3 vote of Senate. Budgetary power. The president submits the budget of expenditures and sources of financing to Congress, serving as the basis of the General Appropriations Act. It's like being the financial mastermind of the country. Informing power. The president addresses Congress at the opening of its regular session, delivering the State of the Nation address. Pardoning power. The president has the power to grant pardons, reprieves, commutations, and remit fines and forfeitures. This power allows the president to extend mercy and forgiveness to individuals who have been convicted of crimes. However, there are certain limitations and considerations attached to this power. For example, the president's pardoning power does not extend to cases of impeachment. Military power. One of the key military powers of the president is the ability to call out the armed forces to prevent or suppress lawless violence, invasion, or rebellion. This authority, known as the call-out power, allows the president to deploy military forces to address threats to public order and national security without the need for congressional approval. Let's talk about martial law. Martial law is a power granted to the president in extreme circumstances, allowing them to temporarily assume military authority over the civilian population. This drastic measure is typically invoked in response to rebellion, invasion, or when public safety requires it. It effectively suspends ordinary law and grants the military expanded powers to maintain order. The power to declare martial law is enshrined in the Constitution. However, it's important to note that martial law does not suspend the Constitution itself, nor does it supplant the functioning of the courts. Instead, it's a temporary measure aimed at restoring order and security. And there you have it! The President of the Philippines wields immense power and responsibility, but they're also bound by laws and regulations to ensure accountability and fairness. Understanding these powers is crucial to grasping the dynamics of governance.